So welcome to this first episode of How to Reinvent a Business podcast. And on this episode, we're going to be chatting with our social media expert, Roshni.
Hello.
Roshni is a mouse. Okay, so Roshni's been running our social media for a few years now. I'm just really interested, Roshni, actually. How did all you guys get started?
So obviously I run the business Original Box with my partner Viren, who isn't here today. So Viren started the business 2 years before I even came along and joined.
Oh, okay.
And then I joined him sort of during the first lockdown, or I actually decided to quit my job and join him during the first lockdown.
Right.
So I actually remember having the conversation with him, I'm quitting and I'm joining you. And he's like, okay. So we've been doing this now for about 3 years together. So we run a web design studio, and also, web design and also in branding as well. So we work within a collective of, with brand strategists and a brand designer. And also work in social media a little bit as well. So,
okay.
Yeah. And we started, I think we just, it was just a gradual choice that this is what we enjoy. This is the creative field that we really want to work in and work with other business owners like yourself.
Yeah.
It's just something we really enjoyed. You know, we come from an engineering background, the both of us, and in the corporate world as well. And that was just, that just wasn't panning out
difference then,
like it was promised to us, all throughout childhood. But, get a good job and work with a great company. Yeah, it just doesn't always work out on paper like you want it to. So this was our choice to.
And how does it feel when you're actually you're out on your own, you're doing it for yourselves? What's that?
It's a mixed bag of feelings, but I think the best thing is knowing that everything is, not everything, but it is under our control. If we succeed, if we fail, whatever challenges we come across, whatever we create, it's our thing. And
so if that's the best thing, what's the worst thing?
I read the other day on it was Instagram that my worst days on entrepreneurship are still better than my best days in my 9 to 5 job.
Yeah.
And I definitely resonate with that because we go through our challenges and we whatever that might be. But whatever choice we make to then go through that obstacle or challenge, that's our choice. It isn't our boss or some company or some CEO telling us this is the route you're going to take. Yeah. Even if we might be opposed to it, we are our own boss. I wouldn't say there's even during the challenges, this is, it's still good to know that we are our own boss.
Exactly there.
we are in control.
It's what a lot of business owners resonate with, isn't it? I mean, I certainly do. It's every day can be exciting. Every day can be challenging sometimes. But overriding all of that is that, I'm responsible for that. And actually, that's a very freeing experience to have. Yeah. I'd rather be that than stuck in, like you say, working for I've worked in corporates before where, sometimes it's been good and all of that, but actually being your own boss is, I sort of say to everybody, why wouldn't you want to be your own boss? And in control of your own destiny. Yeah. Exactly. I should let people know, because we used you for all of our rebranding that we went through sort of last year. Yeah. What's for a small business, what's the most important bit, would you say, out of what you did for us and what you continue to do for us, if you like, in terms of a website, in terms of branding and in terms of social media as well?
Yeah. I think the best thing was to help you create, and the biggest, our most favorite thing is creating the websites, is actually creating the platform for you to now go forward and create content. And because that's what websites are. It's not like a build it once and then that's it. It's now a platform and place for you to create content like you are. Yeah. Where you're now building on your academy and growing your community. And that's the best thing to see, is to see that you're now going forward and doing that. Yeah. As is with the other clients we work with. We've had clients who have been in tears in a happy way once they've got their website. Like, oh my God, yeah, this is, but yeah, that was the best thing, is actually helping you create your identity, your messaging, and have that platform so that now you're now going out and growing whatever you're growing in your business and creating your community. That was the most.
And how does social media fit into that? Because I know when I came to you, it's like, great. I mean, we had an existing website, we wanted it changed.
Yeah.
You mentioned about the collaborative that you work with that helped us come up with that identity and the message for it. But then it's almost like, okay, once that's created, that's great. Then how do you actually go and put it out in public, if you like, or in the marketplace?
Yeah.
And how would you say social media has changed even over the last couple of years since COVID, if you like? Because it seems to be a whole different world now. I'm a 58-year-old technophobe, as you well know, and it's like you've just got to embrace all of this stuff, if you like. But how would you say social media has changed over the last couple of years?
So I think it's different for all the different platforms. You've got Instagram, which is so different to LinkedIn, which is so different to Facebook. I mean, if we look at LinkedIn, for example, I think for you personally, I really wanted to focus on your LinkedIn and your brand and how you grew it on LinkedIn, because the first thing you want to identify is, where does your ideal client, like the person you most want to work with, where do they hang out? Where are they going on a daily basis? What platforms are they using?
Yeah.
And the people who are using LinkedIn and really active on LinkedIn potentially aren't so active on Instagram, or maybe are on Instagram for different purposes. So you really want to look at, who's doing what and where. But I mean, they're changing all the time in terms of like the algorithm, like what is Instagram turning into? What is, as TikTok evolves, especially, like how are the other platforms then trying to compete? Video content, definitely increase the use of video content.
It seems to be the biggest thing maybe I've found is over the last couple of years is going from just having written content. Then everybody said, make sure you put a photograph with it. Pretty much nowadays, and you direct me and tell me, I need a short video with that, because that seems to be the thing that makes a difference or gets it picked up.
Yeah, credibility. It's always a thing where, for example, on Instagram, the longer people stay on your post, the better it is for you, because people are actually sticking around longer, reading your posts. And then it changed, on Instagram Reels were booming. And then over the past year, they started declining in the views they were getting. And then content creators were like, we're definitely seeing a decline in views. And that still seems to be the case. So no one really knows what's going on other than the people behind Instagram or the other platforms. But I would just say you just keep creating whatever feels most authentic and comfortable to you. You're not creating for the algorithm as much as we think we are. That's definitely something I've learned, because the more you try and keep up with the algorithm, the more you're just going to burn yourself out. So just create what you feel most comfortable with, and what feels most genuine to you.
That's really good advice, because we coach all the time in business about being authentic and, being that to the, to your customers and clients. And I think that's really important. What you say is, don't try and go and be somebody you're not or something you're not. Just try and get content out there that, like you say, lands with people. It's like, oh no, that's a real person doing that. Because it is a strange world now, isn't it? Where everything's, gone so online, from when I started in business, 40 years ago, who'd have ever thought we'd end up where how I go and attract clients is literally over the internet, and that wasn't even around when I started. So, and what about AI technology and ChatGPT and all of that? How's that impacting what you do as even on website design or content creation or social media? How's that affecting you?
I think before ChatGPT even took off, my partner Viren, he embraces AI like anything. He loves it, because anything that makes his life easier, he will grab. But when it was first coming out, before ChatGPT even took off, I was a little bit worried about it, because there were rumors of it's going to replace copywriters, it's going to replace
I think a lot of copywriters were worried about that.
Yeah. Brand designers. It was it's going to start creating your websites for you, and I was like, wow, where are we going? Yeah. But I don't know. There was a pivot at some point because we were starting to understand that the reason your clients are going to come to you, as a designer, say, they're coming to work with us because of us and because of our personality, because of who we are as people, how we can support human to human, another business owner, as opposed to AI, which is just a piece of software. It's just a robot creating something for you. So it doesn't it doesn't scare me. I'm not in that place anymore. I'm just embracing it now. I've seen how much it's improved my efficiency.
So are you saying it's great that it's there, but it still needs that human touch on top of it?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I see it as a tool.
Yeah,
I don't see it as
alternative.
Exactly. You know, you've got Canva as well, which I think a lot of brand designers. Again, Canva is a great tool to help you create. Your just another great designer tool.
Yeah.
But it was designed for anyone to use, not just for designers. It's for it's not like a Photoshop or Illustrator. It's for anybody. And people were afraid of that. They were thinking, oh, it's going to replace me as a brand designer. But again, those brand designers, and including us, were using it as a tool now to help us actually improve our work and improve efficiency. So I think we just have to see it as a tool to help us just work a little bit more efficiently, maybe a little bit more quicker. So I'll use it sometimes to help me, ChatGPT has helped me improve my code. A code isn't working sometimes, so I'll copy and paste it rather than me now searching for ages why this isn't working or trying to work it out for myself. It literally fixes the code that I need for a website design. So it's I've seen how amazing it can be, and it is just a tool. I think there's a lot of scaremongering out there. But I think if we stop listening to that and just seeing it as a resource rather than something that's just going to replace you tomorrow.
That sounds good, Like you say, it's a resource just to help actually get down that journey of getting your stuff out there the way you wanted to. What I'm interested, because obviously with working with us, we use the platform Kajabi, and I know you also as a company you use Squarespace a lot. Just on Kajabi for a moment, and doing everything you do for us, what are the advantages of using a platform like Kajabi, or maybe even explain how it's different in terms of, there's Squarespace, but then there's, I think the main two are Kajabi and Kartra. What's the difference of those two platforms?
So Kajabi and Kartra, we chose Kajabi for you because we knew you wanted to create courses and do other things, like create your community like you are now. You've just launched your new membership, your Academy membership. Kajabi is this great all-in-one platform. It is, you can do not just create your website on that platform, but you can create your courses, sell your products, create your podcasts, and have everything stored within one platform.
Correct.
And it's all nice and easy to use. Squarespace, and we use another platform, Shopify, for e-commerce based businesses. So Squarespace is great for, I would say, more portfolio based businesses, or if you're not looking to have that all in one platform, you're literally just looking for a platform just to create your blogs. It's great for blogging. It's great for your portfolios. And if you don't, again, you're paying a little bit less for Squarespace. Kajabi is a little bit more expensive because, again, it's an all-in-one platform. You can do a bit more on there. But Squarespace is really great for creatives and small businesses, creatives, like interior designers, photographers. Even architects might use Squarespace as a platform. Very clean, very nice platform.
I was going to say just on Squarespace, I know, just tell us in the audience, what's your ethos with creating websites?
We work with a minimalist design philosophy. So we want to create something that's very clean, very minimal, sleek, for businesses. But the reason we do that is because we focus on, it's very strategy focused. So there's some amazing websites out there, but some very busy ones. And again, very pretty, but what are you focusing on? What are you, the cleaner the website is, you can help the user the site visitor who's landing on your website stay focused to the goal that you want them to achieve. So is that to contact you or to book your services or to join your email list? You want to keep it very streamlined, very easy to use, and we want to just keep your site user focused on that goal.
That's really important as well, because a lot of people, and I know when I first started, it was like, have a website. I didn't have any realization or focus on actually what you just said. What do I want my customer to do once they've landed on the website? And that's, that call to action is really important.
Exactly. That goal
out there all the time.
It's you want to see a return on investment on your website, don't you? You're not just going out to build a website for the sake of it. I think if you're building a website for the sake of it, it's not worth it.
And I actually think, though, a lot of business owners do get caught up in that. Where they start a business.
I just need a website.
Exactly that. And they have no real thought process as to, it's almost like, I've created a business, I've got a website and I've got a business card, build it and they will come. And then they wonder why on the first day, nobody rings the phone or walks through the door or, responds to anything. So,
exactly.
And do you see it as your job when people come to you to, whether on a website side or social media side, to actually have that conversation with them of like, look, it's great. Of course, we'll build your website. Why are we doing this?
That's the first thing we ask on a discovery call is, what is your goal? And we say, don't give us any more than 2 goals. What are you wanting to achieve from this website? Because if we're just going in blind and creating you something, we're going to, we don't even want to do that. We will say, come back to us when you actually have a goal or 2 in mind. We'll help you create the strategy and we'll actually do that for you, but we need to know exactly what it is that you want this website to do for you. Because if we don't know, then we'll just no. There's no point us creating a website for you. And there are many agencies that will do that, but we're not comfortable because again, you want to see the return on the investment on any website, wherever you're building it. And again, the platform doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. We have platforms that we choose because we love them, but it doesn't matter where you're building your website. You just want to know what your strategy is behind it and what you're trying to do with it. That's it. And
the other thing you mentioned a minute ago was it Shopify? Or, So tell us a bit about that, because I don't use that platform at all.
No, Shopify is really good for if you've got product-based business, especially physical products. It's a little bit like Kajabi in that it's great as an all-in-one, but again, based for product-based businesses. So again, really great for taking payments from your customers, loads and loads of apps that are recognized by Shopify that you can just build into your website, many free ones on there that you can install. And again, they're all optimized for Shopify and to just help make your store a lot more streamlined and do exactly what you want it to do. And it's really great for optimizing your site for search engines. You can build something really, really quite beautiful. We've built some really nice websites on there with our brand designer who's created the branding, and then we've able to implement that gorgeous brand onto their storefront. So it's just again, you can build some really beautiful minimal websites on Shopify, and it does all the functioning in the background as well. Keeping all your inventory, keeping all of your customer data. You can even build your email list on there. So it's again, you get a lot for your money. So it's really good. Okay.
Good. So you said earlier that you work in a collective. What would you say are the strengths of working and collaborating with others? That can really help business owners or clients. How do you see that?
It's been really, really great. When I first came into the business with Viren, I went in with the mindset of the competition, right? So we have to do everything ourselves. We have to become an expert in everything, learn all the tools, learn how to use all the software. And then we met a couple people within the collective we're working with now. And then my attitude totally changed. They came in and they were teaching us it's when you have your collaboration over competition, when you actually work together to create something for another business, use your different expertise to then create a beautiful package, you actually work a lot more efficiently. It's like saying two heads work better than one. Yeah. So since working within our collective, we've been able to just create some really amazing packages for our clients. So my brand designer, who is just so amazing at what she does at creating her graphics, her logos for people, the aesthetics behind it, to then working with copywriters who are experts in their area. I'm not an expert copywriter, and I don't pretend to be. So I would rather work with someone who has the knowledge, has the experience, and then they can create something really amazing for the client, which we then can implement onto a website, and into their social media posts. And it all just comes together into a nice package. So that's just been, I think it's just been helped us create something a lot more streamlined, and just a better package for our clients.
And it actually gives your clients better results.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You're combining all the experiences.
Exactly.
So,
Always say to, even the people in our academy, it's make sure your service is world class.
Yes.
And what you're saying there is like by collaborating with others and having experts rather than just be a jack of all trades and master of none, it's actually, however that customer comes to us, we can actually be the master of all the different aspects of it because we're willing to collaborate. That gives the client that world-class product or service that has it. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think another amazing thing about working within like a network of different entrepreneurs, a collective of entrepreneurs, it almost becomes like this really nice community that we've created. So like over the past, recently we were working with we had a bit of a challenging situation with a client, and most of and we've been quite fortunate. Most of the time our clients, the people who come to us are very much aligned, very much attracted to what we believe in, and we both bring each other so much joy. Sometimes you do get a slight misalignment, and it's no disrespect to anybody else.
Happened, surely.
No, ever. This is slight misalignment, but it's no disrespect to anybody, but I think sometimes we're just not a good fit. When you meet a customer or a client,
that's right,
and there's nothing wrong with that. You're just not a great fit for each other. Anyway, so we were going through something a little bit like that, but it was really nice to know that I've got you in my community.
Yes.
And I was able to just pick up the phone and just sort of go, okay, never been through this before, or this is something that is very new to me and I just don't know what my next move is.
Yeah.
How to help. Again, it just comes back to customer service. We have to look at ourselves. Where can we take responsibility and actually move forward from this, provide a good customer service, however that might be, and then leave the customer with something that they are going to be happy with and can use going forward.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to know that you were there to just provide me with that advice.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good point you make, and I remember the call. But it's interesting because, I'd said something recently to our members about customer service and customer satisfaction, or even how you deal with customer complaints.
Yeah.
And too often, us as business owners, we want to be right.
Yes.
And we forget we have two ears and one mouth. Yeah. So we almost want to listen to what's the reply that will satisfy me, not necessarily satisfy the client.
Yeah.
And it's a real skill to be able to learn that and build that up so that actually when people, do have complaints, because, let's face reality is, I had it last week. I put on one of our Friday thoughts about the service we were receiving. Yeah. And it's like, we're all going to end up complaining about stuff at times. But when you feel as though that complaint has been heard and then dealt with in the right way, that is almost as good as somebody having a great experience with you as well. Because, in the worlds of testimonials, having someone go out there and go, actually, do you know what? I had this problem. This is how it got its resolved. And now I'm even more satisfied with that company, that's a really great testimonial, isn't it? To actually have on that.
That's it. Like, as you sort of, you have the flame principles, right? Yeah. And within that, within the leadership, you've got the integrity. And that was always in my mind in dealing with this is, okay, however I feel personally, it's just how can I deal with this with integrity?
Very good.
What did we promise and what did we not deliver?
Yeah.
And so how can I now just almost fix it, but just, try and restore some integrity here. Yeah. And you helped with that. You sort of advised, okay, here's what you can do. Here's what you can advise them or offer them, which they were happy with. They were fine with. They were in agreement. And it all came to a close in the end, all good. So I think that was.
Well, listen, even when you're dealing with complaints, again, when you're looking at it, you want to be clear. Okay, well, what's the intention? I've got this complaint now. I've got to deal with it. What's my intention? Yeah. And it could be, great, I want that client to walk away having had a very good experience of their complaint being dealt with. Yeah. And part of your intention could be, we're not going to work together anymore, because that might be what you were saying earlier. Yeah. It's like, look, the integrity is and the realisation is actually we're not a good fit in that situation. Yeah. Or it could be, no, we're going to want that client to walk away absolutely satisfied, and actually that's going to lead to more work with that client, where at the point of complaint, it was almost going to be like, well, we're never going to get a chance to work with them again. So there's lots of different ways of looking at it. Yeah. But I think, again, just to make that point, you're right, it's that being in that collective or network of having those resources around. That's actually what makes a real difference of like, it's almost like I'm not alone in having to deal with this situation.
I was just going to say.
And I'm not sure what to do. And is that the right decision to do this or not? Yeah. Actually being in that collective and being collaborative with other people, actually the resources there are going, okay, I know what to do. I just need to get in touch with this person or these people or this organisation. Yeah. Do it that way. Yeah. That's really great.
Really good. Exactly. Yeah. Having the community of other business owners and not... I knew I couldn't turn to a friend or family member at that point because, first of all, there's so many emotions involved that they're not able to look at it objectively.
Yes.
But having that community.
It'd be like, who upset my daughter?
Yeah, exactly. So, exactly. So it's just having someone look at it objectively and go, okay, what can you do? And also, like, once you've dealt with the client and they're happy and everything's A-okay in the end, what can we now go away and look at our process? What are we going to do next time? What are we not going to do next time?
Exactly that.
And going forward. So no,
that's very good. So as for the How to Reinvent a Business podcast, I'm just going to ask Roshni a couple of quickfire questions about how she would look at reinventing some of the things that she deals with. So first thing I'm going to ask you, if there's business owners out there today and they want to look at, okay, I need to reinvent my social media, what's one top tip that maybe you'd give them?
So there's so much you can look at, right? But with your social media, look at I think you go to your analytics. Go into your analytics and see, like, if you want to completely reinvent or look to like audit it, that's the first thing you look at is the numbers.
Right.
So look to see what kind of posts aren't working and which ones are working. And what you want to do is look at the engagement the types of posts get. Yeah. So, for example, on LinkedIn, which ones are getting more engagement, like your carousels, video posts, like polls. Yeah. What kind of posts are getting the best engagement, say over the past 90 days, or over a few months. Yeah. And look to see which ones are getting the most impressions, meaning the views, and most engagements. And based on that, start to look at, okay, this is what my audience wants. Right. Okay. They want to see more of this. They want to see me show up on video more, or they want to see more infographic, like carousel, informative type posts. They want to be educated. Then okay, this is what they want. Yeah. You can do polls as well on some platforms. LinkedIn especially is great for that. Yeah. What kind of content do you want to see from me most? But just look at the numbers. What the numbers will tell you, like what it is that people are. And
then it's a case really of like, well, if that's working, do more of that.
Do more of that, exactly. Focus your energy more on that. Yeah.
Very good. Yeah. And testing a big part of it as well, of like, you know, you could almost do 3 short videos and end each one differently, and you put them out there and you see, well, actually these ones work better. Is that lines?
Exactly. Yeah, you can do it that way. I would say maybe do that a few times. So maybe 1 month focus on like one type of content. Next month move on. And then over the course of a few months, see what's picked up, see what didn't do so well. Give it a little bit of time. Because again, you've got the changing in algorithms. With social media, it's so out of your control. It's dependent on what the, you know, people behind the platforms are doing. So you just, the testing is a really great idea, but give it some time, like a few months to see what's working and what's not working. And again, like the numbers will tell you.
It's really great advice, actually, because before I engaged you, for instance, I know I would just, you know, put out posts. As soon as it's like, posted, I would never go back to it again and even look at, well, was it being relevant? Was it being successful? Was it actually having any sort of impact at all? And it's just like you're just living in hope almost, isn't it? And what you're saying is like, no, there's actually data there. The data will tell you what you need to know. You need to be doing.
Exactly. Great. Exactly that.
No, really good.
And I think sometimes people do find that with social media is I'm just chucking stuff out there. And you might feel that to some extent, again, like because of the changes. You're not in control of social media. You don't own any of your social media followers. That's another thing. So you really are, the testing is a good idea, and the numbers, analytics. Just stick to, that's the one thing you can control.
And then if people wanted to reinvent their website, you know, having listened to this and go, okay, I know I need to up my game in how my website looks or what the impact it has. What's your one tip for websites? And I know there's probably loads again, but
I think one thing I have definitely found with small business owners is the kind of, let's stick with SEO. Your SEO is the search engine optimization.
Okay.
So that is what kind of keywords are you implementing into your website to then optimize your website, to then let search engines know this is what my website is about. This is what industry we belong in. This is where we want to help, or how we want to help our audience, and who we're actually trying to attract, you know, and help. So it's firstly like, what kind of keywords are you implementing? But then keywords are great, but then like it's the content, your website content, which is going to help your website growth organically over the long run. So for example, for us, we actually did this. When I first joined the business, we were finding our organic traffic was low. And after getting some education into why was it low, it was because we just weren't creating the content. We didn't have any blog posts. We didn't have much in terms of keywords going out. So what is one way we can really implement those keywords into a website is by creating blogs. We just educate people. And how can we educate us? Creating blogs. That helped with the SEO in the long run, like long-term traffic. We are now seeing such a growth because people are finding our blog posts by just doing simple searches on Google. Our blog posts are ranking, which is then helping our website traffic. And then helps you find more leads and more customers. So I would say look at, and I hate to say it, like look at the numbers again. So if your traffic is low, you want to see why. And you want to almost do like a website audit into like what keywords are we using, where are we ranking, where, you know, what are you ranking for? And there are many tools you can use to do that. Like for example, within Squarespace, you can connect it to Google Analytics, to your Google account to then see what keywords are people searching for and then finding your website. Or are they even finding your website for relevant keywords? Is that why you're not finding the right type of client?
Got it.
Or finding any client? Because the right people just aren't finding your website. So you want to just do like a bit of an audit as to your keywords to then help with your SEO. Because that is what's going to help with your long-term growth.
Got it.
And you want to work on your organic growth, you know, in the long run, because that's how you build your brand.
And just to explain, so what's organic?
Organic is, so it's when you're not paying for like your ads, you're not paying for Google ads, you're not paying for Facebook or Instagram ads for them people to you're paying for it. You are naturally growing your website because the search engines are recognizing this is what they do. This is how they're going to teach people. This is how they're going to serve audience. And what is Google interested in? It's interested in, is this website helping the person who's on Google right now? Yeah. And if this website is useless, they're gonna rank you low. They're gonna your website is just gonna drop down. Yeah. Whereas if you're the people who are searching for the keywords on Google, then finding your website, staying on your website longer, Google likes that. It's like, okay, this website's good. Let's rank it high because people like this. So they've got an interest, on their end. They like, search engines like good websites, good optimized websites.
So if there was, just off the top of my head, but say somebody runs a business, jet ski hire in Brighton. Great. And they can have a great website. But if nobody finds them, then it's almost pointless. And if they're not doing the correct SEO on their website, somebody could type in jet skis in Brighton and actually they wouldn't come up.
Exactly.
Because they haven't got the right search
keywords
keywords and all
implemented in their site. And it's one of those things where you can argue, okay, this is going to take me some time to grow organically, but then, I mean, it doesn't have to. It can vary. I would say just, look at what keywords do you need to focus on? If you don't have a huge budget for ads, and as a small business owner, if you're just starting out, you potentially don't have a huge budget for ads. So how else can you grow, and what kind of content can you create? And it doesn't have to be blog posts. Not everyone's a writer. You can show up on video. You can create video content. If you're a jet ski hire company, what do you like? How are you showing people? How is your company amazing? How is it better? How is it different to another company? Show up in front of the camera as a business owner. Show up and talk to your audience.
Do testimonials make a difference?
Yes, hugely.
Okay,
good
great.
point. Testimonials are very, very good, especially for a business like that. You want to have that on your homepage. And
because you can get
constantly,
apps now, can't you, where people give testimonials and it's connected to your website, that without you having to do anything, it goes straight to coming up on your website.
Exactly. Exactly. Work on your testimonials. Work on your testimonials, on your reviews. So have
do you think, just interesting out of that, do you think testimonials are so important now because so much is done on social media that you don't actually have a lot of time real life human contact? So people are more likely to want to see testimonials of like, oh, okay, if these 10 people have all given it 5 stars and said it's great, I've got a bit more trust now that to go and purchase that online or book something online, rather than if it's not there, then people can go, well, I don't even know who these people are. They might be more reticent about actually doing that.
I think, like, for the example you just gave for like a jet ski business, testimonials are going to be very, very key. Keep building on that. Written testimonials, video testimonials that businesses can post on their social media. I think depending on what kind of business you are, you want to look to see what's going to be most feasible for you. If you're an interior designer, if you're a photographer, if you are, it'll be different to like a jet ski hire company.
I got it.
It'll be different to a local coffee shop. You really want to look at what kind of business am I? Who am I wanting to attract? And where do they hang out? Are they reading blog posts? Are they watching YouTube videos? Are they going on Instagram to search for a local hire company? So that's the first thing you want to do. Where is my ideal client hanging out?
Yeah.
And where do I want to focus my strength?
Yeah, no, great.
What am I, competition doing?
Yeah.
Not that again, I don't really like to use the word competition, but what are they doing?
Yeah,
and where are they successful? Yeah.
You can look at that and
learn from it.
One of my competitors, they've just started doing that.
Yeah.
Looks like they're being hugely successful at it.
Yeah.
Why don't I do the same thing?
And it works.
Yeah.
Clearly something is working. Again, if you don't have a huge ads budget, then look to those things.
Yeah.
Organic content. Where can I grow organically? Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, Roshni, I think that's enough of a grilling for you for one day. Listen, thank you so much for being our
thank you.
Our first expert coming on to our first podcast.
Expert.
I'm sure you're going to be back again, and you are one of our collaborators and experts inside of the Flame Academy.
Yes.
So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
And then for next time, we'll be looking at finances. Got one of our guys coming on that we can look at all things to do with money. So look out for that. Other than that, that's time for us to sign off, I think.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great.